The 2023 Game Awards are here, and I'm joined by my Illuminator co-host, Sunman Solaris, to talk about what we predict the Dorito Pope himself, Jeff Keighley, and his merry band of men will select as the recipients of these awards. Starting off with Best Game Direction. When it comes to game direction, I'm not exactly an expert. It's hard to really kind of pinpoint out these things, but with Elden Ring last year, it was pretty obvious that this was Miyazaki's baby when Elden Ring won this award. How do you feel about that?
I could definitely agree with you on the Elden Ring front. Miyazaki definitely put a lot of love and care, and with the constant references in the entirety of Dark Souls 2, properties such as Berserk and many more that's not coming to me right now, I can agree that Miyazaki had a good idea. Now, here in Best Game, Direction, I can definitely agree that on some fronts, people did have a unified idea. Alan Wake 2, I can't say had a good unified game direction. It's more cinematic movie slop, as me and you have discussed before. Baldur's Gate 3 definitely has a more unified developer side, with all the, level designers, directors, writers, and all that. And you can definitely feel that echoing throughout the entire process of when they made the game, in each choice and customization, even if necessarily it's kind of low on that front.
Yeah, when you're making a game that has that much interconnectivity like Baldur's Gate 3 and allows some light immersive sim elements even, you need to have someone at the top calling the shots. So whoever the game director is for Baldur's Gate 3, I think pulled off a monumental feat. While I do hope the Game Awards picks this as their winner, I think this is the most deserving.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with you on that part as well. Baldur's Gate 3, out of all the choices here, is definitely the most deserving of an award. Even a nomination, just a good sideline, neck and neck with say, Marvel Spider-Man 2. And let's just say Marvel Spider-Man 2, it doesn't match up. You know the joke that goes around the internet, around all circles, how the PlayStation 5 just doesn't have any games. Marvel Spider-Man 2 is unfortunately in that category as well. It doesn't make you want to buy the $1,000 console.
See, I don't have a PlayStation 5, so I'm actually sort of envious of all the weird exclusives that PlayStation has. I'm just like, what are they? Are they actually good? I can't say if they're good or bad. Someone help me.
Just someone help this man right now. Give him a PlayStation, airship that, drop it off to him in a missile, get him off the map. I can definitely say, because I did watch my friend play it because I didn't want to do it. He's a sort of a casual Marvel fan, let's say that. He did enjoy the previous game, but this one, he did not enjoy at all. It is like Alan Wake 2, just kind of movie slop, unfortunately. And the story itself and overall, passing of the torch to Miles Morales. Now, I'm not going to comment on Miles Morales, it's a bit of a contentious topic with people, unfortunately on that front. But I don't think he's a good fit for this. And definitely, I think it should have not been included at all. This is supposed to be Peter Parker's, story, and he got, unfortunately, sidelined in that. So the next one is Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Now, on this one, I have no idea. I think it's a Mario game.
I've got nothing.
Yeah, I got nothing on that front either.
I got nothing on this one. It looks fun. I'm sure people enjoyed their time with it, but it's just not. I don't know. I don't think, for what it's worth, I don't think it's going to get picked by the Game Awards. That's all.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to get picked by the Game Awards either. Maybe it'll get picked by the people, as a nice nomination. But all I remember about this is that I think some random YouTuber that I used to watch who did Plants vs. Zombies 2. No, Plants vs. Zombies, yeah. Plants vs. Zombies 2 content. He has a very strange fascination with making characters elephants. And I find that incredibly amusing. Damn, here's Daisy, but I wish she were an elephant. And it's not the furry way of, make her sexy, no. It's just an elephant, stylized in that front. And I find that incredibly amusing. Alright, let's get to the next one. What do we got here? Best narrative.
You skipped Zelda.
Wait, what?
You skipped Zelda. There's Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is nominated for Best Game Direction. How could you skip Zelda?
Man, I don't remember Zelda. It happened, okay? I don't remember this happening. Legend of Zelda? What do you mean, Sonny Jim? There hasn't been a Zelda in years, my guy.
I think if you're trying to get inside the head of the the Game Awards panelists, I genuinely do think that they're going to pick Baldur's Gate 3 over Zelda, despite the fact that Zelda does have a fantastic direction and was put together very, very well with a very impressive physics engine and a lot of fun puzzles. I think that Baldur's Gate 3 is going to take this one very easily, very handily.
Yeah, I think Baldur's Gate 3 is the only one that can really match up to this, the hydrogen bomb versus the coughing baby situation, unfortunately. I'm not going to comment on Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I haven't played it. I'm not interested in an open world. I will say the physics and the, the building mechanics, whatever it's called, that's very interesting. I will give them credit on that. That's a nice system that they added.
Alright, so next we have Best Narrative. Your nominations are Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty, Final Fantasy 16, and Marvel Spider-Man 2. I'm not the biggest expert on game narrative. I don't have very high opinions on game stories. But if I would just sit here and put on my speculation hat and pick which one I think the panel is going to select, Alan Wake 2, that's my best bet.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that, because Alan Wake 2, you know, as I've said before multiple times now, it's movie slop. And people love a good movie. That's why Sony Interactive games are good. And The Last of Us 2, Part 2, is getting a remaster. Do you like that? Do you like getting remastered games? Alan Wake 2 is definitely going to be sort of the Game Awards choice. That's going to be Keely's, his favorite choice if he wants to get the money on time. I'm not implying anything. It's a joke. It's a joke. The federal agents are not outside my door. They do not exist. But if I have to go with the people's voice here, I'm definitely going to say Baldur's Gate 3 and Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. Now, Baldur's Gate 3, it has such an extensive and wide story. And from what I have heard from people, it is exceedingly enjoyable, and as you said before, in a good interactive medium. Maybe not similar to Deus Ex, but your actions do in fact matter. As for Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, Idris Elba kind of hard carries that. I will say the sort of weird, spy thriller thing they have going on. We have Johnny Silverhand, the terrorist in your head, helping you out, there's somebody else suffering the same situation as yourself. The bosses are cool and all that, but I am not going to pick Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, because now I can't play Cyberpunk. Because of the updated graphical engine. Madness aside, Final Fantasy 16, I got nothing. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I have zero idea what's happening with Final Fantasy, aside from people lusting over, what's his name? Cloud? Is that his name? The blonde one? Yeah, that guy. Yeah, aside from that, I know nothing. What happened in there happened.
How do you feel about Marvel? Do you think Marvel had a good story?
No, I don't think Marvel had a good story, my guy. I'm gonna be real. I went to Brooklyn, kinda shit. Not gonna lie. I tossed the coin up in the air, somebody took it from me. I hate Brooklyn. I don't want to go back. I don't want to go to New York.
So that brings us to our next category, Best Art Direction. And your nominations are going to be Alan Wake 2, Hi-Fi Rush, Lies of P, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. There are some sections in Super Mario Bros. Wonder called the Wonder sections, where things just get positively ludicrous, and everything's all colorful and pretty. And I feel very strongly that this colorful, very fun game about an Italian plumber is going to take the award from the panel. But if I had to pick a number 2, I would definitely say Hi-Fi Rush's crazy stylized design is up there.
I'm gonna say Alan Wake 2 and Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I'm not going to include those because, personally, by myself, I don't like the art direction on either of them. Alan Wake 2's realism, Legend of Zelda, its style has just never gelled with me. It's just not something I like. Hi-Fi Rush, on the other hand, is something that I can definitely enjoy, and given its more rhythm game-esque, Devil May Cry sort of combat system, it sort of feeds into the world, and I quite enjoy that. Everything feels, zany? Incredible?
Poppy?
Yeah, poppy. Yeah, there we go. Poppy and vibrant. And, it gets you into, the rhythm of the game, and I quite enjoy that. Now, as a Dark Souls fan, as the, 300 hours that I've spent in Dark Souls 1, and more Dark Souls 2, not in 3, thankfully, and Elden Ring, I could definitely enjoy Lies of P for, its attempt at going for the more Souls-like genre whilst putting a twist on the, Pinocchio story? I could definitely appreciate the different twist and all that, and with the Dark Souls-esque system. And, I do enjoy that. Super Mario Bros. Wonder, I have seen the segments that you are referring to. Personally, I think it's a bit, too flashy for my tastes, but I can understand where you're coming from. Yeah, a little garish on that. You went too far in that direction. It's more a childlike wonder in that instance. I may be a bit too of a generational divide on that front to enjoy that. I'm not really much of a pastel or scene man myself. But I can understand where you're coming from on that front.
But what do you think is gonna win Best Art Direction? You just sort of gave each game a review. Which game has the best visuals?
I've given it a fucking breath here. Give me a moment, man. Goddamn. I'm going to say Hi-Fi Rush and Legend of Zelda will definitely put each other up against Mono y Mono. I definitely think that Super Mario Bros. Wonder will get like maybe a mention. Maybe Lies of P will kind of slip its way in there if Keighley mentions it or acknowledges its existence. As for my
No.
Yeah. As for my
No, I don't think. Not because it's an indie game or whatever, but I genuinely think that Lies of P, while it's the best non-FromSoft Souls-like we've gotten, its art and its enemies are very, very cool. Its art direction simply doesn't compete to either Hi-Fi Rush or Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
Yeah, understandable. As for my more personal picks, I'm definitely leaning more on the side of Hi-Fi Rush because of its, bombastic nature and its rhythm. And that and the music's pretty fucking good, too.
Right, music is part of art, of course.
Yeah, music's part of art. A lot of people tend to forget that, unfortunately.
Actually, speaking about music, let's talk about best score into music. This is one where I don't have a big opinion on. I've not heard any tracks from this. I couldn't say, really.
Personally, I have some things to say. Hi-Fi Rush, I've already stated, saying that I like its zany nature, even if some of the songs in Hi-Fi Rush itself are, copyrightable, gets you some DMCAs. I can say, on your own, you can enjoy them, and the, sort of indie scores that go alongside them, they fill in that role quite neatly, to where the game doesn't, die down with its overall theming and all that nonsense. Baldur's Gate 3 and Hi-Fi Rush, I will definitely say, are the only two contenders personally for myself. As for the more Keighley side and critic side, I definitely think Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, and maybe Tears of the Kingdom will compete with each other on that front. But I'm definitely gonna say a hard win for Baldur's Gate on this one. The score is maybe not epic fantasy as I would describe it, but it's definitely something more Tolkien-esque in some of the soundtracks that I have listened to from Larian Studios, made by Borislav Slavov. You could tell he's a good composer because he has Slav twice in his name.
Best audio design. So these are the games that sounded the nicest, had the nice plinks and plops and the sounds of bullets hitting the ground. I have some opinions about Dead Space, but even I can say, look at this and say, I really think that they're going to pick Dead Space for this award. Either Dead Space or Alan Wake 2. Because Dead Space's big thing is that it's very dark, very ambient.
From the categories here, Alan Wake 2, Dead Space, Hi-Fi Rush, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4. I'm going to exclude Hi-Fi Rush and Marvel Spider-Man 2, unfortunately, even though it kind of wounds me that I spoke so highly of Hi-Fi Rush. But Alan Wake 2, Dead Space, and Resident Evil 4, those are the only real competitors that I can consider in this category for the critics. Now, I have opinions, and so do you, on remakes.
I have a lot of opinions on remakes, yeah.
on Dead Space remake and Resident Evil 4 remake. But I'm gonna have to say, on the critic side, I'm definitely leaning on the side of Dead Space winning this one, easily. Because Dead Space, the initial, 2007? Or roughly around
2008.
2008
release, yeah.
2008 release. On that front, they really hit you with that visceral and dark ambience. And whilst I have opinions about the remake, and I don't overall like it, I can give it credit because it has an amazing sound and audio design on that front. Everything feels so visceral and, unfortunately, realistic. As much as I despise using that word, you feel the thumps of Isaac's boots when he stomps down, when the contact beam just melts through flesh, the flamethrower spinning flame, the plasma cutter cutting through things, and all that, you could feel the visceral nature, like the previous old audio design. If you've watched the behind the scenes videos on YouTube, like they did do incredible work on that front, and not to mention the necromorphs' cries, screams, and all that other nonsense.
Oh my gosh. It's nutty. It's positively nutty. Dead Space just has a ludicrous soundscape, and I think that the panel is going to acknowledge it, and Dead Space will take this award. If it doesn't, it'll go to Alan Wake 2.
Yeah, Alan Wake 2 is definitely gonna take it. Again, movie slop. To say that, keep track of that one in the video, huh? Put that in the comments.
How many times does Solaris say movie slop? Vote now on your phones.
Vote now.
But not gonna lie to you, Alan Wake 2 is always just a pretty safe second place bet to hedge your bets when it comes to these awards.
Yeah, definitely. I will say that maybe on the audience side, if I haven't stated it already, I don't know, my memory's kind of messy. I will say either Dead Space, Hi-Fi Rush, and Resident Evil 4 will definitely be heavily competing with each other. Unfortunately, I think that Hi-Fi Rush will get left in the dust, and Resident Evil 4 and Dead Space are the only two real contenders for the audience's picks. Because, you know, even though it made good waves and successes, for good or bad reasons, I know what your search history looks like. I know what you looked up. Don't be ashamed, we know.
Afterwards, we have Best Ongoing, with Apex Legends, Cyberpunk 2077, Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite, and Genshin Impact. Call me a jalapeno pepper, because I'm going to make a spicy take and say that Fortnite's taking this.
Honestly, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that front, even though I don't like it, because Fortnite, despite its many flaws and issues,
Name a flaw in Fortnite. I actually, the thing is, like, every time I've looked at Fortnite, it always seems to be doing something right and something cool. Name a flaw in Fortnite.
Fortnite itself is... It's not a problem child at all. It just does things. It gets good grades, it arrives on time, it goes to bed at its, you know, when its parents says 10 p.m.'s your bedtime, it goes to bed at 10 p.m. It does the job right and it makes money. And part of me, I can't hate that. What I do not love is just the sheer volume of microtransactions and the battle royale genre it keeps persisting. I am not a fan of the battle royale genre. That's my sole issue. Other than that, I have to agree with you on Fortnite. That is the only one that I can legitimately say that the critics will choose.
Maybe Cyberpunk, though.
Cyberpunk can be considered, but I don't think it's gonna win due to general opinion. It's artsy-fartsy bullshit, but I don't think the critics are gonna choose it. It's gonna be Fortnite just because otherwise I think they're gonna get skewered. Maybe Apex Legends will put up a fight on that front, but I don't think it's gonna win. Fortnite's definitely de facto on this. If I have to go with the audience's opinion on this, it's a toss-up between Final Fantasy XIV and Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact for, a budget, let's say, if you know, you know. And Final Fantasy XIV, due to its, well, wide community and generally pretty good, decent developers. I mean, I don't like the MMO genre, but I could definitely see and shake, what's his name? Yoshi P?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely shake his hand and say, you know what? You're doing something right. I'll give you respect on that front. As for my personal opinion, I'm definitely gonna say Genshin Impact, even though I don't like it. That's gonna be the audience's choice. For, budgets. Small little opinion, Cyberpunk is not a good ongoing game. Do not lie to yourself. It is not good. You have lied to yourself. No, Edgerunners does not make the game good. I'm sorry to tell you this. Listen, I'm down bad for Kiwi, alright? Listen, I understand, you know, David fucked up, he went psycho. But listen, you don't have to go psycho as well. Don't support this. You could stop. Just move on. Vote Genshin Impact. You can live. Move on.
Vote Genshin Impact and live.
Alright, let's get to the next category. Well, what do we...
Right, let's go. We got Best Community Support. Recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness. Our picks are Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy XIV, and No Man's Sky. I'm gonna have to predict that Final Fantasy XIV takes this, actually.
Yeah, Final Fantasy XIV is just, it's kind of a clean sweep on this one as well.
It has a fantastic reputation of the developers being very open and honest with their community.
Yeah, I can't really say it's not really much of a problem game. You know, it's made some fuck ups, but then the developers say, yeah, we fucked up. We're gonna fix this issue, and you know that's respectable.
We had a bit of an oopsie poopsie back there.
We made a bit of a fucky wucky.
I'm happy to see No Man's Sky still getting love 7 years after release. Respect.
Yeah, I will say, definitely on the critics side, it's definitely gonna be Final Fantasy XIV. Like, it's just a clean sweep on that front. No Man's Sky will be like a good runner-up. I expect it will be mentioned. But that's more gonna be the people's choice tossed up between Baldur's Gate 3. Those are the two choices for the people, No Man's Sky and Baldur's Gate. As for my personal pick, I'm definitely saying on No Man's Sky. We will have to mention, unfortunately, Destiny 2 and its just colossal failure of keeping its community happy. You know, I think we'd be a bit remiss, a bit of a negligent if we didn't mention how just absolutely awful Bungie is just not good at keeping their reputation.
That brings us to our next category, Best Independent Game. You've got Cocoon, Dave the Diver, Dredge, Sea of Stars, and Viewfinder. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm trying not to be biased here because I love Dredge so much. But Cocoon, though. Cocoon is such like a high-profile indie darling. There's so much good to say about Cocoon that I think that one's going to take it. I'd like to see Dredge win. I don't think Dredge is going to win against Cocoon.
Yeah, no, I have seen a bit of Cocoon, and I definitely could say that indie, as a wide genre, is definitely more defined by its art and representation. Like, how you represent the game itself. It's definitely very artsy, and I could definitely see that on the critics side, because, you know...
It's got a couple of the people who made Inside and Limbo working on it, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. Cocoon will be a clean sweep for the critics. The people's choice, I will definitely say Dave the Diver or Dredge.
Oh yeah.
I can't speak on Sea of Stars or Viewfinder. I have no interest. Viewfinder is... I have seen some of it, but it just doesn't speak to me, so I won't comment on it. Dave the Diver is just kind of fun. It's a little simplistic, and, you know, it doesn't take itself all that seriously. Dredge I will speak highly of, because it's just a nice little Lovecraftian delving into fishing. I know, if you know the story, you know that it's, well, you know, not the greatest thing. You could definitely get some Lovecraftian elements from that, a little bit of cosmic horror. And, you know, I'd say it's definitely a good competitor, but Dave the Diver and Dredge for my sort of community picks, one might say. As for my own personal pick, I'm going with Dredge, because I like fishing. It's just that simple.
And then there's an associated category, Best Debut Indie Game. Got Cocoon, Dredge, Pizza Tower, Venba, and Viewfinder. I want Pizza Tower to win. I so want Pizza Tower to win. I hope Pizza Tower wins.
Honestly, I hope so as well, just because of Pizza Tower's, insane WarioWare aesthetics and just overall, understanding of it's a fun, silly time for, what's it, like, a few dollars? Like 5 or 10? I definitely would say Cocoon, Dredge, and Pizza Tower will be the close 3, community choices. As for the critics' choice, I'm definitely thinking it's gonna be Cocoon again, but maybe Dredge can eke something out. I think Venba, I have no idea what it is, I won't comment on it. I think that'll get somewhat of a mention. Like, maybe it'll butt heads with Cocoon. But other than that, I definitely think Cocoon's gonna win this one.
How to put this? I think that Dredge is going to win, but I also want Pizza Tower to win. And that we have Best Mobile Game. I don't give a fuck. Alright, next.
I do not care for mobile games either. But given the whole list here, Honkai Star Rail. Why? Budgets. And I can tell you for a fact, my good sir, there aren't no budget cuts in that game.
Oh no, I think alright. For Best Mobile Game, it's Honkai Star Rail, yeah. Best Action Game. This is not fair. This is just unfortunately not fair. Redmond 2 is really good. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this, Sunman. Redmond 2 is awesome. We should play some time. But, yeah. This isn't fair. Armored Core 6 is gonna demolish this category. There'll be nothing left remaining.
Listen, man. It's like I told you yesterday when we were, chatting up in the studio before we went live, my good sir. It's the hydrogen bomb versus the 4 coughing babies. It ain't gonna be pretty, and it's gonna be a clean wipe. Like, even though I know that critics don't exactly like Armored Core. It's not really a them game. It's definitely more for a closed-off audience. Like, it's just a sweep. I really want Ghost Runner 2 to put up, like, a fight. Maybe even Remnant or Hi-Fi Rush. But, like, I'm not going to consider this. Everybody's just going to choose Armored Core. It's not funny. I can't make a joke. It is just such an... the house has stacked the favor against you so bad, my guy. He has 3 full houses. You stand no chance. You are going to be poor. You will not win. It's over. Clock out, my guy.
We got best action/adventure game. Oh, this one's tough. Oh, this is like another. Oh my gosh, this is actually really tough.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I don't even know how to assess these. Like, oh gosh, I hate the genre action adventure. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah, I don't think action adventure's a good genre either. It's not something I enjoy. It's like, I feel like it's in that weird middle ground, you know?
Yeah.
Of where it kind of wants to go one way, but it also wants to go the other way, and it's kind of, sort of half and half, and you just kind of feel dissatisfied because you could see the glimmers and glints of something greater, but it's just sort of held back by the other. It's definitely a scope issue, where they want to go both ways, but they can only go one. And personally, I believe Alan Wake is a weird. It's action horror, not really action adventure, in my opinion. I will say like only maybe Resident Evil 4 and Star Wars Jedi Survivor will maybe be the community picks. Legend of Zelda, I think it'll put up a fight. I could say that much. Marvel Spider-Man, no, I'm not gonna try and say that's gonna do much of anything. It's definitely a toss-up between Resident Evil 4 and Star Wars Jedi Survivor for the community. As for the critics side, I'll definitely say Alan Wake and Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, I think that this is going... No, I actually disagree with you. I think that it's going to be The Legend of Zelda and Marvel Spider-Man who will be the critics' pick for this category.
Yeah, I can see the reasons behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one of these, I didn't play any of these. I played Resident Evil 4 and I have opinions about Resident Evil 4. So if I'm just guessing what the panel is going to select, it's probably going to be Legend of Zelda. If you forced me to pick one between that and Spider-Man, but I would not be surprised if Spider-Man won it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. It's a Sony game. You know how that goes. Ad nauseum, yada yada. I'm not gonna say the line. I won't say the line.
Best RPG. Oh my god, look, it's Starfield! Starfield's here! It's hilarious, look, it's Starfield, look, wait a minute.
Let's listen, me and Todd Howard, we go way back. I was in the chess club as a fetus, I will tell you that much. I was there watching Todd just absolutely wreck the competition. And I will be the Bethesda slop enjoyer on this instance. I am going hard in on Starfield. I don't care if I'm wrong. Starfield all the way. I'm going all in on this one. Starfield.
I hate to tell you this, but they're gonna pick Baldur's Gate to win this. You know that, right?
I know they're gonna pick Baldur's Gate. I don't care. Star Slop is there. I will gladly take the Star Slop. Please. I love you, Todd. Answer me.
Now we have best fighting game. How much do you play fighting games, Solaris? Do you ever mess with these?
I had a brief stint with fighting games in Mortal Kombat 11, but it's not really my sort of genre. I'll leave this one to you.
Looking at all these picks here, I very much wanted Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 to be amazing and to rock set the world on fire. But if you're being realistic and looking at what's probably going to win this award, it's gonna be Street Fighter 6.
I'll definitely agree with you on that front. Street Fighter 6 is definitely going to be a de facto winner on this front. Both in terms of critics, audience, and personal picks, because people just keep saying that Street Fighter 6 is good, and you know, I can respect that for many reasons.
For best fighting game, the lineup here is really a two-horse race between Mortal Kombat 1 and Street Fighter 6, and I'm gonna have to say Street Fighter 6 takes the edge on this. It has an incredibly strong single-player mode, and it has added new accessibility options for a lot of newer players. I'm not really jazzed about that. I think it's a little bit of baby's first fighting game, but I can respect the accessibility angle.
You can respect that they want to get a bit of a bigger audience. You know, I always thought it in the analogy of, you know, the training wheels on like a bike or anything. You know, you initially put them on, you play a bit, you ride a bit, and then you take them off, and then you start truly learning when, you're confident enough to, well, get your ass beat, one might say.
I think Street Fighter 6 has this on lock, but I wouldn't be surprised if Mortal Kombat 1 kicks a surprise win over it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna agree with you on Street Fighter 6. Mortal Kombat, I don't know. I'm mixed on that one. I don't think it's really can put up much of a fight. It'll definitely get a mention, but I definitely think Street Fighter 6 and maybe All-Star Brawl 2 from Nickelodeon.
Do you have any kids, Solaris? Because we're looking at Best Family Game next.
Sorry, man. Only firing blanks on this front. Can't help you on this.
I have no kids either. Oh well.
I will say, Disney Illusion Island, I'm not really a family play kind of guy. My father got into video games. That's how I got into all the video games. We had a PlayStation 2, then a PlayStation 3, a Wii, and all that other nonsense. I definitely will say, it's Disney. I can imagine it'll be a nice, fun family experience. But if I had to go with the audience pick, I'm gonna say Party Animals and Pikmin 4. And Super Mario Bros. Wonder as a close runner-up, maybe.
I think that Pikmin 4 has this. I think Pikmin 4 is going to take this category on the critics' side.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking Pikmin 4's gotta be on the critics' side as well.
It's gonna be one of the two Nintendo boys, for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of sad Sonic is here. I feel bad for him. He kind of looks washed up.
He's having a hard day. He hasn't had his coffee yet.
Yeah, he doing his best, and we can respect that in a man. If I had to do a personal pick, I'd definitely say Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Like, it's Mario. You know what they say about Mario. He's just a good guy.
Next, we got Best Sim and Strategy for the best game focused on real-time or turn-based simulation. Excuse you, but my game of the year is on here. Fire Emblem Engage. What? I'm picking Fire Emblem, baby. Woo! That's gonna win every single year. Fire Emblem Engage. Way to beat. Fuck yeah. Love that game.
I tell you, this man, he's been blinded by the Fire Emblem.
I love Fire Emblem Engage so fucking much. I've never played a Fire Emblem game before, but I bought this because I felt bad, because I called one of my friends a dirty weeb, and I felt really bad that I insulted him, so I played Fire Emblem Engage as, recompense to him, and it's my favorite fucking game of the year. I love it.
This man went through a cycle of repentance, playing fucking Fire Emblem of all things. What a damn world we live in. Okay, but personally, my picks is definitely going to be on Advanced Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp and City Skylines. Those are going to be my sort of de facto picks, personally. As for the audience, I'm definitely going to say Fire Emblem, as you have so kindly stated, and Pikmin 4. Maybe Advanced Wars will be a close runner-up. I haven't heard many people say anything about Company of Heroes or City Skylines. Aside from, we bombed a city with a meteor.
If I had to pick what the critic is going to select, I think that they're going to pick Company of Heroes 3. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm gonna disagree with you.
I want them to pick.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that one. I definitely say maybe Company of Heroes 3 will definitely get a mention, but I 100% believe that it's either gonna be a toss-up for the critics between Advanced Wars and Pikmin. As much as I would love to state Fire Emblem, I don't think people are a fan of weebery, let's say.
I would love if Fire Emblem wins this, I'm gonna lose my mind. This is the real Game of the Year award for me, okay? You don't understand.
But bro's gonna be there in his room saying, "It's the GOAT! The GOAT!
It's the GOAT! The GOAT!" Next is Best Sports and Racing. You're foreign. Do you like sports games?
No. I'm one of the rare people in South Africa who doesn't like sports.
Best Multiplayer. For outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, you've got Baldur's Gate 3, Diablo 4, Party Animals, Street Fighter 6, and Mario Bros. Wonder.
Ugh. Ooh, boy. Where do we start?
Where do we start? I genuinely think that Party Animals is a front runner for this category.
Yeah, 100%.
When it comes to unique multiplayer experiences, I think that the critics are going to genuinely look at Party Animals and consider it for the award. Baldur's Gate 3, probably gonna win, but Party Animals, I wouldn't be surprised if it got a cheeky little win here.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be with you on that front as well with the critics. It's definitely a toss-up between Baldur's Gate 3 and Party Animals. and even my own personal list, it's definitely Party Animals and Street Fighter 6. Like those are my two personal picks. As for the audience pick, it's gonna be Baldur's Gate 3 again and Party Animals again, just because of, well, the built-in co-op experiences are pretty well done. Like I've played a Larian Studios game. Like the online experience is exceedingly good, and it's peer-to-peer. So, you know, that's pretty incredible.
This is why I freaking love video games, because you get these moments where, like, Baldur's Gate 3 and Party Animals are legit competitors in a thing that they do. And that just, I love that. I love that so much, that Party Animals is like this schlub-a-dub game and can compete in any capacity with Baldur's Gate 3.
It's a nice little bit of cognitive dissonance, isn't it? Where we have this high quality RPG, and then there's just Party Animals. We do fun things.
we cause some mischief. Welcome to Party Animals.
We have a bit of fun, a little bit of tomfoolerish actions, one might say. Alright, let's get on to the next category, and that is Best Adaptation. Now, Andy, my guy, I will take the floor here on this one.
Alright.
Like,
simmer down.
The only two that I will say for the critics on this front, it's The Last of Us, and it's only going to be The Last of Us. There is no competition for the critics on this one.
You
they
really
love
think so?
their artsy stuff.
I'm telling you, nostalgia wins. Super Mario Brothers movie is gonna take this award.
You think Super Mario Bros. Gonna take the movie for the critics' side?
Oh my god, dude! Jack Black is going to play Peaches on stage. I can smell it. I can tell.
He's predicting it. He's manifesting it into existence. He's performing a ritual as we speak.
Yeah. Haven't you ever seen The Secret? That's how it works. You just, if you believe in something hard enough, it appears. And that's what I believe about Super Mario Brothers movie and this award.
Yeah. If I have to go for the audience side to give them a voice, I'm definitely gonna say it's gonna be the Super Mario Bros. Movie, like a clean sweep. Maybe they'll have a bit of a dichotomy with The Last of Us, I think. But between Super Mario Bros. And The Last of Us, everything else doesn't really compete that well. I have watched the Twisted Metal on Peacock, and it's definitely like a fun, rompy experience. It's nice to see Sweet Tooth be, how you say, insane. And who plays the main character? I can't remember the actor's name right now.
Boris Karloff.
Yeah, Boris Karloff. I will say he does give a good performance, and it is a nice sort of what's the word here that I'm looking for? Campy. A nice campy experience where, you know, he plays into the role really well. But if I have to go for the audience choice, it's a toss-up between The Last of Us and Super Mario Bros. Maybe Twisted Metal will get like a mention, but I definitely think Castlevania is gonna be the third in this front. I have not seen anybody mention the Gran Turismo adaptation at all, which I find exceedingly funny. The racing game got a movie or a series. Okay. Now what? They race. Damn. Is it drama? I will give some credit to Castlevania Nocturne. You know, I will give it like a mention. I personally didn't enjoy it, but it's a toss-up for me. It's a 50-50. I enjoyed it, but I kind of didn't enjoy it.
Now let's move on to most anticipated game. This is the game that's coming up that the people want the most.
Oh my fucking goodness! Here we go.
This is a rough one. At least for me, just because like I'm not exactly jazzed on any of these titles. But if I had to pick one that I think would stand out, it's probably... I couldn't pick one that could actually stand out. I would have to pick two. That's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Hades 2. I think those two are going to be your frontrunners for this award, with a slight nod towards Final Fantasy VII.
I definitely think that, like, in the audience's perspective, it's definitely going to be Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Hades 2. Because Hades 1, as we know, was a tremendous success and produced quite a bit of content, let's say. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, it's Final Fantasy. You know that remake's gonna it's just gonna sell like hotcakes. I definitely say Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth would definitely be a good sort of third runner-up. Ubisoft, I'm not gonna get into that. I'll get into a fight on that front. I don't think it's gonna be anticipated at all. It's a Ubisoft game. People have
a Star Wars game.
Star Wars is going through apathy, my guy. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think people are really expecting it. They're expecting, like, it'll be maybe okay, but nothing insane. But if I have to go for a personal choice, Tekken 8. Like, hands down. Everything I've seen so far from Tekken 8 has just been insane.
I'm surprised, actually. I never took you for a Tekken person.
Listen, I may not play fighting games or anything like that, but I have like a sort of, what's it called? I have a soft spot for watching competitive esports, specifically like old StarCraft Brood War games, and fighting games specifically from Tekken, because it's just, the commentators and the fellas there are just, they just ooze such passion, and they just ooze such passion for the game that they're casting. But I would definitely say, yeah, my own personal is Tekken 8, just because I love the casters, because they get really into it, and I just love feeling that, like I'm part of a community. I will say that. You got anything else to say?
I've got nothing else to say.
I definitely say, for Content Creator of the Year, it's gonna be Iron Mouse. Like, I want Quackity to put up a fight, but it's gonna be Iron Mouse. People love a VTuber. Alright, Andy, let's move on to Game of the Year. The big de facto.
This is it. There's 6 games here. You got Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Of these games, so full disclosure, of these 6 games, I have played 2. Resident Evil 4 and Legend of Zelda. That said, I think that Baldur's Gate 3 has this easily.
I have to agree with you on that front. Full disclosure here as well. I have played Alan Wake 2 about 4 hours, Baldur's Gate 3. I've played a decent chunk. I've watched the rest on YouTube's YouTube Let's Plays and groups in a Discord call. Marvel Spider-Man 2, I haven't played that much of. Resident Evil 4 Remake, I did complete through legal means, I assure you, officer. Super Mario Bros. Wonder is definitely up there. I have played it. It's enjoyable, I will say that. But and I haven't played Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. It's just not something that speaks to me, as I've stated before. But if I have to go for like a critic's choice, it's 100% Baldur's Gate 3. I'm on the road here of no competition. People just unanimously love it. It brought back CRPGs into the mainline public consciousness.
Now, if you had to pick, like, let's say that Baldur's Gate 3 doesn't win this for whatever reason, what's your fallback title? Mine is going to have to be Zelda.
I'm gonna fall back on Resident Evil 4 Remake. As much as I don't like it. Yeah, Resident Evil 4 Remake. Like, hands down. It's Resident Evil 4, the original, is already an insanely good game, as being you both know and agree on. And you know, with the HD mod, it makes the experience incredibly more enjoyable on a second or third playthrough. But the Resident Evil 4 Remake just has passion put into it, even if we both disagree that remakes are perhaps not the best, to put it lightly.
My issues with Resident Evil 4 stem from the fact that I don't think that the people making the game understood the geniusness that went into the original. They didn't understand the teetering tower of balance and interlocking mechanics. And when they modernized the game, they missed something. But my personal opinions towards the game aside, it has been received ridiculously well. And quite frankly, any of these 6 games, including Resident Evil 4, would not surprise me all too much if it won. Except for maybe Mario Bros. Wonder. I'd be a little bit like, what? If that won.
That's kind of my personal pick, because out of all this, I've chosen something, you know, out of some sort of logic or reason. I've had some reasoning behind this, but I really just want Super Mario Bros. Wonder to win, just to shock people like, Mario? You won Game of the Year? Like, damn, he's putting in work. This Italian plumber, he's supposed to be in an old folks' home by now. And he's still getting up and he's running around, Sonny Jim.
It's like a gorillion years old, still winning Game of the Years at it like it's nothing.
Hey Luigi, I won this golden award from the Game of the Year. Look, Jeff Keighley himself handed it to me.
Wow, bro, that's really cool. Hey, thanks for watching. If you dug what you saw, please leave a like and subscribe. Come check us out on Twitter and our Discord. Links in the description. Take care, and see you in the next one.